Peace, peace. So I have been meaning to put words to this message for a while now, but I haven't had the words, and I don't like to put things out there unless it flows. And the topic is being unequally yoked with someone or something, and that coming from a Christian perspective, but we were taught wrong about what being unequally yoked is. So in the Christian tradition, we're taught that unequally yoked means being involved with someone, and most times they use this in reference to intimate relationships. And we're taught that it means being involved with someone who is not of the Christian faith, or who is not what they may call saved. So unequally yoked, I've always had a problem with that, because I was always like, well, the saved people supposed to leave all the unsaved people alone? The good people supposed to leave all the bad people alone? Like, even when I was religious, I still had a lot of questions. Like, I never stopped having questions, which I think which I know now made me a perfect candidate for the work that I now do. But anyway, unequally yoked is not being involved with someone who is quote unquote saved or unsaved, or someone who is not of the Christian faith. Now, there is a such thing as being what they might call unequally yoked. I wouldn't even use that terminology because of, the connotation that it has now. However, unequally yoked would be dealing with someone who is not of the same or likened energy. And we know that when we study energy in a spiritual sense, anything that is not like the same energy will fall off anyway. But say, for example, I'm a person who, I'm doing my spiritual work, I'm making sure I'm tapped into myself, I'm in my God alignment, I do what I need to do when it comes to my God work. And if anybody who's doing God work, they know what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about being saved or unsaved. I'm talking about when you're doing your God work, you have a true God connection. You can hear and feel and do everything in relation to God. So anyway, and then I go out and I get involved with a person who is obviously and clearly not doing the work, not thinking about it, don't even know how to do the work. It's going to be a while before they even understand what the God connection is. That would cause a lot of turbulence for myself. And in fact, if I end up being okay dealing with someone who is not doing the work, then ultimately there is something in me that I have not healed. And I have been in situations like that where I got into a situation with someone who was not doing the work, who was not tapping into their God connection, because we have to understand that our God connection is where our power lies. And in relationships, our God connections with ourselves, and then our individually, and then together is where the power lies in those relationships. So if you have a situation where you got one person doing the work, they got a good God connection, you got one person who not, you always gonna have some turbulence there, because the God connection that needs to sustain that relationship is not there. If you hear me again, if you have a relationship where you have one person doing the God work and you have another person who is not, the relationship is either not going to last, or it's going to last with a lot of turbulence that the couple is trying to keep it together. Now, you do have most relationships where neither of the people is doing the God work, neither of the people have a God connection, and therefore there is so much turbulence in the relationship, and they don't know what God work is, they don't know what connection is, they don't know what energy is, and so they don't understand that this is the problem in this relationship. When you have two people who are doing the God work, working on themselves, tending to their God connections, really walking in their power, they're doing that individually and they're doing it together. That's where you're going to see a powerful couple. Anything other than that, they are dealing with some mess. And I'm not saying it's always cheating, I'm not saying it's always lying, but it's going to be turbulence, because the thing that sustains a relationship is not present in that relationship. That's what unequally yoked is. We don't have to use that terminology, but that's what it is. Okay? So, if you're in a relationship, trust me, there's some people out here that's portraying perfect relationships. And all you have to do is sense what a God connection is, and you'll know what a relationship is. If they not doing the God work, one or both is not doing the God work, the relationship is not golden like they want to try to portray and make it seem like it is. Okay? If you're in a relationship, you need to be tending to your God connection. Your person need to be tending to their God connection, and then y'all need to be tending to the God connection that exists, or the lack thereof, between the two of you. Okay, that's where the magic comes in. That's where the connection comes in. That's where people truly have a connection. Absent that, you're always going to have issues in a relationship.